nation's power.
It's a true story. We're going to start off with our first story here. I'm on the Twitter page of Henry Rosoff, who says, breaking, Representative Jerry Nadler has a health scare during event alongside New York City Mayor talking about speed cameras. Appears to be dehydrated and passes out. He looks paper white. And I actually want to take you to a different video here so we can get a good look at it. Check it out. So we're going to break this down play-by-play style because I'm a pundit. And I'm also a sports fan. We open our video here with Mayor Bill de Blasio. And he's kicking some blah, blah, blah about something yakety smackety about speed cameras, the importance of more cameras in our community so that we can look at you while you do stuff. And this woman right here, she's looking at stuff. She checks out Gerald Nadler. Now, we don't see whatever happens. It's kind of off to the side of the camera, but she's the first one to notice. And like a good patriot, she stands up and says something.
And I think the congressman's right about that fact.
Boom, nice work. She doesn't waste any time. She's like, no, something's wrong. I'm standing up. Here it is right there. And she alerts the medics. And whatever it was enough of a motion for Bill de Blasio to notice too. But notice he's going to offer him some water here.
You want some? Yeah, I got some here, Jerry.
And as you can see right there, the color has completely gone from his face. So, you know, who knows? I'm no medic, and I don't want to speculate too much on that. Could be heat stroke, could be a diabetic thing, could be a stroke itself, could be a lot of different things, I suppose. He may have heart issues and stuff like that, but it looks like the color has gone from his face. Now, he does seem very aware of the voices around him, but I want to note that when Bill de Blasio asks how he is, notice how quickly he responds.
Dehydrated, brother. You seem a little dehydrated. You okay?
He says right there, are you okay? And he promptly shakes his head and says no. So whatever it is, he's not feeling well. And even though he seems to start to get the color back into his face a little bit quicker, he's very clear that he is not okay.
Take a drink of this and give yourself some. How you feel, man?
Now, he says, how you feel, man? And he lifts his head up and takes kind of a big breath, opens his eyes a little bit more, and you're going to notice that he's going to get a real intense pain in the front of his head. Check it out.
Okay. All right.
Right there, whatever it was, seemed to be really, really intense. Now, that's the only reason I thought that maybe he could be dealing with a stroke. For those of you who've had a stroke before, you might know better than I am. Like I said, I'm no medic, but it seems like whatever it was, he had an intense pain in his head. And he asks him again, are you all right? And he just says clearly that he's not.
Hey, you want to drink some of this and give you some left.
Right there, he just had his name called. He looked over at him, and then he looked over there. So it looks like his senses work okay, but I'm not so sure his sight really does. Now, at this point, we get some medics come by. And this is very strange because they're all in lab coats here. And you can see right here, it's Something Health Hospitals, and there's 3 of them, but they all come to check on him. What's amazing is that nobody gets out of the way. Maybe it wasn't that big of a deal. But there you go. And there's a couple lab coats right there from these hospitals. I find it very strange that they walk around with their lab coats on, but maybe that's a normal thing. Not really sure, but it appears that he is okay, and they did escort him out of the building safely. And I've got live footage of that. No, that's a hedgehog getting followed by some geese. Well, someone else who's not been feeling well lately seems to be Nancy Pants Pelosi. Yeah, she's been going after the POTUS, going straight for the jugular, but she seems a little bit off these days. Now, I'm not going to show you any video of that because that is sitting in my burn folder where it belongs. Yep, but I'll bet POTUS could give us an update. Excuse me, Mr. President, could you give us a status to Nancy Pelosi's health?
She's lost it.
Do you think she knows she's lost it?
I don't think she's capable right now of understanding it. I think she's got a lot of problems.
That's very possible, Mr. President. Now, what about some of these other deep state knuckleheads? They be hating.
I saw where Comey is blaming this one and Brennan's blaming another one, and they're going against each other, and Clapper, I think yesterday, maybe is blaming President Obama. Oh, so surprised to see that happen.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, surprise. And here's another surprise for you. John Brennan is not happy. He's usually such a jovial guy. He says, young people everywhere, please do not emulate Mr. Trump's very immature behavior. Find others of honesty, integrity, and decency to be your role models, and always try to do what you know is the right thing, even when doing what is right is both unpopular and difficult. And of course, he's responding to this tweet right here from Donald J. Trump. Well, Patriots, as you know, the more bum sore the deep state gets, the more we tend to encounter foxtrots, right? And many of you have probably seen this already. This is from Craigslist. Looks like the Las Vegas area. Fun, engaging acting work in Las Vegas, 20 plus an hour. Crowds on Demand, a Los Angeles-based public relations firm specializing in innovative events, is looking for enthusiastic participants in the Las Vegas area. Sweet! Our events include everything from rallies to protests to corporate PR stunts. The biggest qualification is enthusiasm, a can-do spirit. Yeah, we don't want any negative Nancy's around here. Pay will vary by event, but typically ranges from $15 to $20 per hour, plus reimbursements for gas, parking, public transit. Nice. If you're interested in working with us, please reply with your following. So you got to give your name and all your experience. Have you ever been a crisis actor before? I mean, a political protester, corporate PR stunner before? Okay, well, you get the idea. And if you're not familiar with Crowds on Demand, don't you worry, fam. Sir Patrick Max got you covered. Yeah, I posted this back on February. It looks like it's only got a few thousand views. In Pursuit of Truth presents 2 Minutes of Truth, Episode 1, Crowds Demand. Yeah, it was one of my first videos. It's not even 2 minutes long. So do me a favor, go check it out if you have not already. But it is the very same Crowds on Demand that we were talking about. Looks like the Midwest is getting in on the game too. Here's an opportunity. Now hiring casualty role players for Ohio, Missouri, and Tennessee, which is a really big area. That's 3 states right there. My goodness. Well, see something, say something. On June 2nd through 5th, 2019, casualty role player opportunity to support emergency response training exercise. Ooh, all right. Well, if you are in the area and you have any information on this, please let us know. And hopefully, in completely unrelated news from the New York Post, NASA tests air traffic control system for drones. NASA has launched the final stage of a 4-year effort to develop a national traffic management system for drones, testing them in cities for the first time beyond the operator's line of sight as businesses look in the future to unleash the unmanned devices in droves above busy streets and buildings. Droves? My goodness. Multiple drones took to the air at the same time above downtown Reno this week in a series of simulations testing emerging technology that someday will be used to manage hundreds of thousands of small, unmanned commercial aircraft delivering packages, pizzas, and medical supplies, and also spying on you. This activity is the latest and most technical challenge we have done with unmanned aerial systems, says David Korsmeyer, Associate Director of Research and Technology at NASA's Ames Research Center in Mountain View, California. An autonomous drone took off Tuesday from the rooftop of a 5-story casino parking garage and landed on the roof out of another view across the street. It hovered as onboard sensors adjusted for gusty winds before returning close to the center of the launch pad. Equipped with GPS and probably lasers, others flew at each other no higher than city streetlights, but were able to avoid colliding through onboard tracking systems connected to NASA's computers on the ground. Similar tests have been conducted in remote and rural areas. The Federal Aviation Administration has authorized individual test flights in cities before, but never for multiple drones or outside the site of the operator. The new round of tests, continuing this summer in Reno and Corpus Christi, Texas, marks the first time simulations have combined all those scenarios, said Chris Wallach, Executive Director of the Nevada Institute of Autonomous Systems, which is running the Reno tests of unmanned aerial vehicles, or UAVs. All right, well, look, I got to be honest with you. I don't know if this is a popular opinion or not, but I do not love this idea at all. Now, let me take you down here. Wee Chun, Director of Aeronautics at NASA's Ames Research Center, said her supervisors at NASA headquarters were surprised to hear that they had been testing drones in Reno. They said, "Are you crazy?" she said. "We hope the test in Reno shows drones can be flown and land safely." All right, well, look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to go on record saying this now. This is a bad idea, okay? It's a bad idea. Let's just say one little problem happens to one of these drones. What happens? It falls right out of the sky, right? Yeah, right on those knuckleheads down below. Look, flying cars, bad idea. Looks cool in the Jetsons, but the fact of the matter is, we don't drive that well. And when these things start coming out of the sky, I'm telling you, it's a bad idea. And you may not like Elon Musk, but he's right. Tunnels are safer. Tunnels are more sophisticated, just as long as they're not the creepy tunnels that we talk about. But that's not the point. What my real point is that this is not a good idea. And here's an interesting tweet from Yigstar House on Twitter, who says, CNN currently sending a message. Why include a pic of JFK getting off of Air Force One on the day he was assassinated with a story about Trump's trip to Japan? And as you know, he's on Air Force One heading there. Also note the timestamp 322. And for those of you who are not aware, 322 is the number for the Skull and Bones Secret Society. And there you can see the headline from CNN Politics. Inside Trump's Air Force One. It's like being held captive. Very interesting indeed. Updated at 3:22 p.m. So let's keep our thoughts out for the POTUS. By the time you're probably seeing this video, we'll probably have a better idea of where he is at this point anyway. But if you see something, say something. And finally, let me leave you with this little boom from BNL News. Breaking: UK, Italian, and Australian government stand strongly against Joseph Mifsud, Alexander Downer, and Stephen Halper's actions against former Trump official Papadopoulos, and are now actively cooperating with the Trump administration to investigate the FBI.
You don't have to come and confess that you did it. We're looking for you. We gonna find you. I'm letting you know now, so you can run and tell that, homeboy.